The hunt begins. In the cold, dark space, far from any human world, a silent ship floated between the stars. Inside the ship, the air was heavy. The walls were black metal, covered with strange symbols that glowed faintly like sleeping eyes. The only sound was the soft breathing of a hunter, a Valkyrie huntress. She sat in front of a large screen. Her fingers, long and sharp like knives, tapped slowly on the table. Her eyes glowed bright red, full of hunger and excitement. On the screen, she watched a human, a male soldier, fighting a giant alien beast on a deadly planet. The beast was 10 times bigger than the human. Its teeth could break metal. Its claws could cut stone. But the human was not afraid. He moved fast, too fast for the beast. Every step was strong. Every move was smart. The human's gun roared, and the beast screamed in pain. But the human did not stop. He jumped, rolled, and attacked again. His face showed no fear, only focus. A huntress leaned closer to the screen. Her breathing became faster. Her sharp teeth showed in a strange smile. She whispered to herself, her voice soft but full of hunger. Perfect. Savage. I want those genes. The Valkyrie were known across the galaxy. They were the great hunters. They chased and caught the strongest creatures from many worlds. They didn't hunt for food. They hunted for power. They studied the bodies, the blood, the minds of every strong species. They took the best parts, the speed of one race, the strength of another, the senses of a third, and made their own bodies stronger. The Valkyrie believed they were the perfect hunters. But now, they saw something new, something dangerous. Humans. The huntress had hunted many species before. Some were strong. Some were smart. Some were fast. But none had all these things together. None fought with such fire inside them. None refused to die, even when they were broken and bleeding. But humans, they were different. This human, Commander Alex Kane, was the best. His name was already whispered between alien hunters. They called him Ghost Fang because no prey could escape him, and no hunter could catch him. Every fight made him stronger. Every enemy made him smarter. His body was not just flesh, it was a weapon. The Valkyrie leaders sent the huntress on a special mission. Bring us the human's genes, they said. Learn his secrets. Steal his strength. The huntress was proud. She was the best hunter in her clan. She had caught beasts that could eat whole cities. But now, for the first time, she felt something strange inside her. Excitement and fear. The huntress stood up. Her armor was black and smooth, like the skin of a shadow. Her weapons were sharp and silent. Her ship moved through space without sound, like a ghost hunting prey. It moved toward a small alien planet, where Alex Kane and his team were hunting. Alex did not know they were being watched. His team was busy, scanning the area, collecting samples, hunting strange creatures for research. To them, it was just another mission, another dangerous day on another strange world. But to the huntress, this was something more. This was not just a hunt. This was a test to see if humans were truly as strong as the story said, a test to see if Alex Kane was truly the Ghost Fang. In the dark sky above the planet, the Valkyrie ship appeared. No light, no sound, only a shadow hiding between the clouds. Invisible, silent, deadly. Inside the ship, the huntress touched the side of her helmet. Her eyes glowed brighter. The screen changed, showing live images from the planet below. She saw Alex moving through the thick forest. His weapon was ready, his eyes sharp, his steps careful. He moved like a predator, not prey. The huntress felt her heart beat faster. She whispered again, her voice low but filled with hunger. Your genes will make me perfect. You are strong, human, but not strong enough to escape me. Far below, Alex stopped walking. His head turned slightly, eyes scanning the trees around him. He felt something. a cold feeling on the back of his neck, like invisible eyes watching from the darkness. His fingers tightened on his weapon. His heart beat a little faster, but his face stayed calm. The hunt had begun. The huntress smiled. The perfect prey was waiting, and she was ready to catch him. The first encounter. The forest was alive with strange sounds. Deep clicks echoed from the thick trees. Soft hissing came from the ground, where tiny, bright green insects crawled between glowing roots. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of wet earth and strange flowers that opened and closed like breathing mouths. Commander Alex Kane stood perfectly still, his back pressed against the smooth bark of a wide, dark tree. His weapon, a sleek pulse rifle, rested lightly in his hands. His finger, relaxed but ready, sat just above the trigger. His helmet visor showed data across his eyes. Air temperature, moisture level, radiation spikes, but none of it explained the feeling crawling up his spine. The feeling of being watched. Alex had been on 100 worlds, burning deserts, frozen wastelands, toxic oceans, but nothing made his skin crawl like this. It wasn't the planet itself. It was something else. Something smart. Something patient. His earpiece crackled softly. "Commander, you copy?" The voice was Private Lee, one of his best scouts. "Copy," Alex said, his voice low. "You feel that, sir? Like something's following us?" Alex's jaw tightened. "Stay alert. Report anything strange. Move in pairs. No one alone." He didn't want to admit it, but Lee was right. Something was out there. Something that moved between the trees too fast for scanners to catch. Something that left no tracks, no sound, no scent. Only that cold pressure on the back of his neck, like a finger gently touching his skin. Far above, hidden in the thick clouds, the Zalkiri huntress watched. Her ship was silent, like a ghost hiding in the sky. Thin black drones, no bigger than a human hand, floated through the trees, their eyes glowing faintly red. They saw everything, every movement, every breath, every step Alex and his team took. The huntress stood in the center of her control room, her fingers tracing the air, pulling the images closer. Her red eyes followed Alex, every muscle, every small reaction. Even his stillness was interesting. Most species panicked when they felt a hunter near. They ran, they screamed, but not this human. This human didn't freeze in fear. He listened. He trusted his senses. Good, very good. She had caught many prey before, strong warriors from violent worlds, beasts with jaws bigger than her whole body. But they all had patterns. Fear always controlled them in the end. They made mistakes when they felt hunted. They let fear guide their hands, their feet, their minds. But this human, Commander Alex Kane, he was different. He didn't fear the hunt. He welcomed it. The huntress felt something strange in her chest. Excitement, yes, but something more. Respect. Curiosity. No, something sharper. Desire. Not for his death. For his genes. His perfect, savage genes. She whispered softly to herself. "Come, human. Show me why your kind is feared." Below, Alex moved forward, his team following at a careful distance. The forest was wrong. It was too quiet now. The usual buzzing and clicking sounds faded. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Alex's sharp eyes caught something, just for a second. A shadow, too smooth, too fast, darting between two thick trees. His rifle came up instantly, aimed at the spot. Nothing. Only leaves drifting slowly down. He tapped his earpiece. "Lee, report." Silence. "Lee, do you copy?" Still silence. Alex's stomach turned cold. "Sergeant Hale, where's Lee?" 5 meters ahead of us, Commander." He. The line cut. Static filled Alex's ears for half a second, followed by something stranger, a soft breath, almost like a whisper. Then nothing. Lee, hail. Alex's voice was calm, but inside, his heartbeat quickened. One by one, his soldiers were vanishing. No screams, no gunfire, just gone, like they were plucked from the ground by invisible fingers. The huntress moved between the trees, her body blending with the shadows. Her armor adapted to the forest colors, making her almost impossible to see. Her bare feet touched the ground without sound. The humans were strong, yes, but they were not silent enough, not careful enough, and not fast enough. She could take them all, right now, without a fight. But that would not teach her anything. She didn't just want their bodies. She wanted to know their strength. She wanted to see why this human, this Alex Kane, was so different, why the stories about him spread across the stars. She wanted to feel his power in her hands before she took his genes. Alex's pulse rifle scanned left and right. The forest seemed to close around him, each tree a silent watcher. He moved carefully, his training slowing his breath, calming his heartbeat. His mind ran through every scenario. Ambush, local wildlife, natural event. But nothing fit. This was too clean, too precise. This was a hunt. He didn't know who. He didn't know why. But Alex Kane knew one thing. Someone was out there, and they were very good. He crouched beside a tree, checking his HUD again. One small blip, a faint heat signature, flickered in the distance, then disappeared. It was too fast for any normal life form. "Show yourself," Alex muttered, his voice low. "You're good, but I'm better." The huntress smiled from the shadows, her fangs catching the faint light. His voice reached her through her drones. It made her heart race. Most prey begged for mercy. This one challenged her. Perfect. So perfect. From her wrist, she sent a single pulse, a sound too low for human ears, but enough to disrupt their comm systems for a few seconds. Just long enough for confusion. Just long enough to make the prey wonder. Alex's comm crackled again. Static mixed with something else. Soft, breathy words in an alien language, just at the edge of hearing. It was a voice. Female, low and teasing. He couldn't understand the words, but he felt their meaning. Run, human. Run faster. Show me your strength. Alex's grip tightened on his rifle. His smile was small, but real. Whoever they were, they'd made a mistake. They'd chosen him as prey. But Alex Kane was no prey. He was a hunter too. The chase begins. The sky above the alien forest was dark and restless, thick gray clouds rolling like waves across a black sea. Wind whispered through the towering trees, carrying the scent of strange flowers and wet earth. Somewhere far in the distance, alien animals howled, sharp cries cutting through the silence. But closer to Alex Kane, there was only the soft sound of leaves rustling and branches swaying. He moved carefully, every step slow and quiet, boots sinking into the soft soil. His pulse rifle swept side to side, his finger resting lightly on the trigger. His breathing stayed calm, but inside his mind, calculations ran like a machine. Distances, cover points, escape routes. Years of training and even more years of survival had turned his brain into a constant battlefield map. Something was out there, watching, studying, hunting. The Zalkiri huntress moved through the trees like liquid shadow, her body blending perfectly into the dark green and brown colors around her. Her armor shifted with each step, like living skin adapting to the light. No sound came from her feet, no breath escaped her lips. Even her heartbeat was slow, controlled, almost silent. She had followed many prey in her life. Strong beasts, cunning warriors, but none like this human. Most prey only looked forward, blind to the dangers behind. But Alex Kane was different. He could feel her. Not see, not hear, but feel her presence, like an invisible pressure at the edge of his senses. That feeling excited her. This was no ordinary hunt. This was a dance between predators. Alex's visor glowed faintly, scanning the environment. reading heat signatures and motion patterns. But nothing showed up. No life, no signals, nothing. It was like the forest itself was holding its breath, waiting. Then his earpiece crackled again, just like before. Static hissed softly, followed by that same low, whispering voice. It was alien, female, and teasing, like someone speaking just close enough to his ear to make his skin crawl. He still couldn't understand the words, but the meaning was clear. Run. Let me see how fast you are. Alex's mouth curled into a small, humorless smile. All right, he muttered. Let's play. Without warning, he moved, fast and low, weaving through the trees in sharp, unpredictable angles. 1 second to the left, 2 to the right, stopping behind cover only to dash forward again. He didn't run in a straight line. Straight lines were for prey. The huntress's eyes glowed brighter, her heart pounding faster. He moved beautifully, not like prey fleeing in fear, but like a predator testing the shadows. He was fast, faster than most creatures she had hunted. His mind was sharp, always scanning, always questioning. She followed, silent and invisible, leaping between branches, her eyes locked on his every move. He was good, very good, but she was Zalkiri. This was her world. No one escaped the Zalkiri hunt. Alex reached a small clearing, wide open, too dangerous to cross. Any idiot knew that, but instead of stopping, he dropped to one knee and pulled a small round device from his belt, a portable motion sensor. He placed it on the ground and activated it. It pulsed softly, scanning the area for anything moving faster than the wind. Nothing, only the trees swaying. But Alex didn't trust it. His gut said the enemy was close, closer than the sensor could read. He wasn't wrong. Above him, hidden in the thick branches, the huntress clung to the tree like a living shadow. Her armor shifted again, matching the dark bark perfectly. Her eyes glowed faintly, but she dimmed them, watching him through the slits in her helmet. She wanted to drop down. She wanted to grab him. Feel his muscles strain, his breath quicken, his heart race. But it was too soon. She needed to see more, to understand why humans were so dangerous, to see if the stories about them were true. The best prey were the ones who fought the hardest. Alex stood, his eyes still scanning the trees. He couldn't see her, but the feeling hadn't gone away. That invisible weight pressed on his shoulders, like cold fingers brushing his neck. He took a step back, then another. His foot brushed a thin tripwire stretched low across the ground. Not human-made. Alien. Advanced. In one fluid motion, Alex spun and fired, his pulse rifle tearing through the air. The blast hit nothing, just leaves and branches, but it made the huntress move. A flicker, almost too fast to see, as she darted sideways to avoid the blast. Just for a second, her shape appeared, dark, tall, deadly, before vanishing into the trees again. Alex's heart didn't race. It slowed. He wasn't dealing with random wildlife or bandits. This was something far worse. All right, he whispered to himself. Let's see how good you really are. He moved again, but slower now, setting traps of his own. Thin wires between trees, sound sensors hidden under leaves, small explosive charges buried in the soil. Each step was careful, each movement designed to test the space around him. The huntress followed, watching. She saw the traps. Clever, simple, effective, but too slow for her. She moved over them like smoke slipping through fingers. Still, it impressed her. No prey had ever done this. Turned the forest into a battlefield while being hunted. Most just ran until they died. This human didn't run. He fought back. The sky above grew darker, storm clouds rolling closer, flashes of green lightning lighting the sky. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then harder, drumming against leaves and soil. The rain made it harder to see, harder to hear. But Alex didn't need eyes or ears anymore. He could feel her now, her presence, her hunger. It was like a second heartbeat in his chest. The huntress stood on a high branch, rain dripping off her armor. Her heart pounded with excitement. This was better than she had hoped. She whispered again, her voice carried through the storm, soft and teasing. "Run, little human. Show me your strength." Alex heard it, even through the rain. He smiled. "Come get me," he whispered back. The forest swallowed both of them, hunter and prey. In a deadly game neither wanted to lose. Deadly dance. Rain poured down from the black sky, washing the alien forest in silver sheets. Thick branches groaned under the weight of water, sending heavy drops down onto the wide, tangled roots below. The air smelled of wet earth and something sharp, something metallic, almost like blood hanging in the mist. Alex Kane crouched low under the wide trunk of a twisted tree, his back pressed against the bark. His pulse rifle rested across his knees, its barrel still warm from the last shot. Water slid down his helmet's visor, blurring his vision, but Alex didn't need clear sight to know. She was still out there. He could feel her, like a cold breath on the back of his neck, a pressure that didn't go away. No sound, no movement, just that feeling. It had been over an hour since his team vanished. No bodies, no signs of struggle. Just gone, one by one. Even Lee, the fastest, sharpest scout he had, taken without a whisper. Something was wrong, too perfect, too smooth. It wasn't an ambush. It was something worse. It was a hunt. High above him, hidden beneath the thick canopy, the Zalkiri huntress lay stretched across a branch, her body as still as stone. Her dark armor had shifted again, blending perfectly with the wet bark. Raindrops slid down her helmet, dripping onto her claws. Red eyes glowed faintly behind the mask, never leaving Alex. He hadn't panicked. Most prey did, running blind into the forest, falling into their own fear. But Alex? No, he had slowed down. Every step, every breath, controlled. He had turned the forest into a maze. Traps under leaves, tripwires between trees, motion sensors hidden in puddles. The huntress had danced through them all, untouched. But that wasn't the point. The traps weren't meant to catch her. They were meant to test her, her speed, her instincts, her limits. And that excited her. This was no longer just a hunt for genes. This was something else. A game between predators. A dance between two creatures who knew the taste of fear and didn't fear it at all. Alex's hand slowly reached into his vest, fingers brushing over a thin blade. Human steel. Simple, deadly. Guns could jam. Explosives could fail. But a knife never betrayed you. Not if you knew how to use it. He scanned the trees again. Still no movement. Still no sound, except for the rain. But Alex wasn't fooled. He knew she was close. Too close. The rain made it harder to hear her, but it also made it harder for her to hear him. He moved, sliding from cover to cover, always with one foot in the air, never placing his full weight down until the very last second. His boots pressed into mud without a splash, each step lighter than the falling rain. It was a technique old earth hunters used when stalking deer, moving with the rhythm of the forest, not against it. The huntress followed from above, matching his movements perfectly. Each time he paused, she paused. Each time he changed direction. So did she. But she wasn't chasing him. Not yet. This was still the dance, and she wanted to see how long he could keep it up. She had watched him fight beasts, alien soldiers, even machines, but none of them were like this. They all attacked directly. Alex didn't. He flowed, adapting, changing, reading the world around him like a second language. He wasn't prey. He was a mirror. Every time she thought she had him, he slipped just beyond her reach. Every time she tried to predict his path, he took another. It was like chasing a shadow in the rain. But Alex knew one thing. No one is perfect. She was fast, yes. Silent, yes. But she wasn't a ghost. Every creature, no matter how deadly, had to touch the ground. And the ground didn't lie. He had planted tiny sensors, barely bigger than a fingernail, in the mud hours ago. They couldn't see her, they couldn't hear her, but they could feel her, the faint tremor of her foot pressing down, even for half a second. His visor flickered, a red dot, then gone. Alex moved faster. The huntress felt the shift, his body language, his pace. He had stopped being cautious. Now he was moving with purpose. Had he spotted her? No, impossible. She was Valkyrie. The forest itself didn't know she was there. But Alex Kane wasn't like other prey. She felt something else, something rare. Excitement. Most hunts were over in minutes. Prey either ran into her hands or died too soon. But this human, he was stretching the hunt into something more. Something personal. Her heart raced faster. Her fingers curled against the wet bark, claws twitching. Alex stopped near a wide pool of dark water, rain sending ripples across its surface. He stood at the edge, head tilting slightly, listening. His free hand dipped into the water, fingers brushing something cold and metallic beneath the surface. Another sensor. The huntress saw the movement from above. She knew he had planted traps, but now it was clear. He wasn't just moving blindly. He was using the whole forest against her. Clever, but not clever enough. She dropped. Silent. Fast. Alex felt it. The rush of displaced air. The brief pressure change as something large fell behind him. He turned, knife in one hand, rifle in the other. She stood there, tall and sleek, rain sliding off her black armor. Her red eyes burned through the mist, locked on his. For a moment, neither moved. Two predators, face to face for the first time. The rain hammered down between them, but they didn't hear it. Alex's knife glinted in the dim light. The huntress's claws curled slightly, almost inviting. Then they attacked. The first clash was brutal. Her claws met his knife in a shower of sparks. Her strength was inhuman, pushing him back, but Alex twisted, using her own momentum to break away. He fired point blank. She was gone before the pulse blast hit. They circled, weapons low, eyes locked. No words, no threats, just the raw language of survival. She slashed. Alex ducked. He stabbed. She twisted away. Each move tested the other, each step part of the dance. The huntress felt her heart pounding. This was no ordinary prey. This was something she had never felt before. A challenge. A perfect challenge. Alex's breath came slow, steady. His mind was calm, but inside, something was waking. That old hunger. The hunger only real hunters felt when they met something worthy. The hunt was no longer hers alone. Now it was theirs. Captured. The rain had slowed to a soft drizzle, but the air was still thick with the smell of wet earth, metal, and something sharper, the scent of alien blood mixed with human sweat. Alex Kane's breath was steady, even as his muscles burned from the constant motion. His knife, now scratched and stained, rested loosely in his grip. His pulse rifle was slung behind him. It was useless now. This was no longer a battle of guns. It was something older, something personal. The Valkyrie huntress stood a few meters away, her black armor slick with rain, her red eyes burning through the mist like twin fires. Her breathing was heavy now, though not from exhaustion, from excitement, from hunger. She had hunted thousands of creatures across hundreds of worlds, but none had made her feel like this before. The thrill of the chase, the taste of danger in the air, the raw survival burning in Alex Kane's eyes. It was intoxicating. She whispered to herself in her own language, soft words that carried both admiration and desire. This human, so perfect. I want to see more. But Alex wasn't thinking about her admiration. He was thinking like a soldier, running every possible outcome through his mind. His body hurt. His left side ached where her claw had grazed his ribs. His knife had saved him from a killing blow, but only barely. And she was still fast. Faster than any enemy he'd fought before. But she wasn't perfect. Not yet. She was still learning him, just like he was learning her. They moved at the same time. Alex lunging low, the huntress leaping high. He slashed upward, the blade cutting through empty air as she twisted mid-fall, landing behind him with impossible grace. Her claws lashed out, and Alex barely managed to roll away, feeling the sharp tips scrape across his armor, leaving thin gouges. He came up fast, pivoted, and threw his knife, not to hit her, but to force her back a step. It worked. The blade spun through the air, and though she could have dodged it completely, her instincts made her block it with her forearm. It clanged off her armor, harmless but distracting. In that second, Alex surged forward, not away, but toward her. The huntress' eyes widened slightly. Prey never did that. Prey ran. Alex didn't. He slammed into her, shoulder first, driving her back into the nearest tree. The force made her hiss, not in pain, but in surprise. His strength was more than she expected, more than his size should allow. He was smaller than her, but his body was like iron wrapped in skin. Her claws reached for his throat, but Alex's forearm pinned her wrist to the tree. His knife was gone, but his other hand pulled a small device from his belt. A shock charge. He slapped it against her armor and activated it. For half a second, blue electricity exploded between them, crackling along her armor, making her body spasm. Her muscles locked. Not long, but enough. Alex spun away, diving behind cover as the charge burned out. The huntress shook her head, her vision flickering, the shock fading quickly. Valkyrie bodies were built to resist pain, to keep moving even when damaged. But the human's move had been brilliant. Short, sharp, fast. Her lips curled into a smile beneath her helmet. He learns. Alex didn't stop moving. His mind raced, knowing he had seconds, maybe less, before she recovered. His body ached, but adrenaline burned away the pain. He had fought enhanced enemies before. Cyber soldiers, bio-modified assassins, but none of them had her instincts. She didn't just follow him. She anticipated him. Like she could see his thoughts just by watching the way his muscles tensed, the way his eyes flicked to a certain spot. Every breath, every step, she was reading him. It was like fighting a mirror with claws. The Valkyrie huntress leaped forward again. Faster this time, closing the distance between them in a blink. Alex spun, but not fast enough. Her arm caught him across the chest, sending him crashing into the mud. His helmet display flickered, warning systems blaring. Before he could rise, she was there, one knee pressing into his chest, one hand pinning his wrist to the ground, claws digging into the mud beside his head. Alex's free hand reached for the small knife strapped to his ankle, but her other hand caught his wrist. Not crushing, not breaking, just holding. For the first time, they were still. Both breathing hard, both covered in rain and mud, both staring into each other's eyes. Her mask was close, her breath warm against his face. For the first time, Alex saw her real eyes. Red, yes, but with something deeper inside them. Not hatred, not rage. Fascination. Her voice was soft, almost gentle, a whisper just for him. You fight, like one of us. Alex's jaw tightened. I fight like a human. The huntress leaned closer, her head tilting slightly. I want your strength, she whispered. Your genes. Alex smirked, despite the pain in his ribs. Sorry, not interested. Her fingers tightened slightly around his wrist, just enough to remind him how strong she was. You have no choice. Alex's mind raced, looking for any opening, any chance to flip the situation. But she was too close, too fast, and his body was already slowing. The fight had drained him, and she knew it. But even as she held him down, even as her scanners began to map his DNA through his skin, her heart pounded with something she didn't understand. Admiration. Desire. Not just for his genes, but for the fight itself. She had hunted for so long, but nothing had ever fought back like this, and that made him valuable, not just as prey, but as something more. The ship's beams locked onto them both, a pale light cutting through the rain surrounding them. Alex felt the pull as the tractor beam gripped him, lifting him off the ground alongside her. Captured, but not defeated. As they rose toward her ship, the huntress whispered one final thing, soft, but filled with meaning. "This hunt isn't over." Alex's smile was small but real. "No, it's not. Escape and revenge." The bright white light of the tractor beam faded, leaving Alex Kane lying flat on a cold metal floor. His breathing slowed as the sound of rain disappeared. Now, only the low hum of alien machinery filled the air. The Valkyrie ship was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. Smooth walls with no visible seams, all black metal that shimmered faintly, like oil under sunlight. Strange blue symbols moved slowly across the walls, flowing like liquid, changing shape and meaning as they passed. The floor was cold, but the air was warm, almost too warm, making Alex sweat under his armor. His wrists were bound together by a band of thin, flexible metal that pulsed faintly with blue light. His weapons were gone, stripped from him the second he was brought on board. But they had made a mistake. They had taken his rifle. They had taken his knife. But they hadn't taken him. The Valkyrie huntress stood at the far end of the room, her red eyes glowing softly in the dim light. Her helmet was gone now, revealing her face, smooth black skin, sharp features, and a crown of ridged bone-like spines running back from her forehead. She was watching him, but not like a predator watching prey. There was something different in her eyes now, curiosity, admiration, and something almost like pride. "You fight like no other," she said softly, her voice smooth but carrying a sharp edge. "You make me feel alive." Alex sat up slowly, his muscles aching, his side burning where her claws had torn his armor. His wrists twisted slightly against the cuffs, testing their strength. Flexible, but strong. He would need tools to break them. Tools or improvisation. "You're wasting your time," Alex said, his voice dry but steady. "You won't get what you want from me." The huntress tilted her head, stepping closer, her bare feet silent on the smooth floor. "I already have what I want," she whispered. "Your DNA, your body, your strength. It's all being copied, stored, improved." Alex's eyes narrowed. "You think you can copy what makes me human?" The huntress's smile was small but sharp. "We do not copy. We take and make better." Alex's jaw clenched. He had heard stories, whispers about the Valkyrie. Alien hunters who didn't just kill their prey, but became them, mixing genes, memories, and instincts into their own bodies. No species was safe. The stronger the prey, the more the Valkyrie desired them. And now, they'd wanted him. The huntress turned away, her fingers brushing a floating screen made of blue light. Data scrolled across it. Alex's heartbeat, muscle density, reaction speed. Every part of him was being scanned, recorded, broken down into numbers. "Your body is remarkable," she said, almost to herself. "Stronger than it should be, faster than logic allows. But it's not just your body, it's your mind. That fire inside you, what you call human spirit." She looked back at him, her red eyes glowing brighter. "I want that too." Alex's fingers curled into fists. "You'll never understand it. You can't steal what you don't have." The huntress only smiled. "We'll see." She left the room, the door sealing behind her with a low hum. Alex was alone. For now. He took a slow, deep breath, letting his body relax. The Valkyrie had made their second mistake. They thought he was contained. They thought a human was just a collection of muscles and bones. They forgot what made humans dangerous. Adaptation. The cuffs were tough, but not unbreakable. Alex studied them. Flexible metal, likely reactive to movement and pressure. Too much force would trigger an electric pulse. But the edges were soft, and soft edges could be worn down. He shifted, leaning against the smooth floor, dragging the cuffs slowly against the metal surface. The faintest sound of scraping filled the room, but the hum of the ship covered it. It would take time, but Alex wasn't in a hurry, because Alex Kane had already learned the most important thing about the Valkyrie. They underestimated him. Minutes passed, then an hour, or maybe more. The cuffs grew weaker, the edge worn thinner with every slow scrape. Sweat rolled down Alex's neck, his muscles tight from holding still, but his patience was endless. The huntress returned, stepping into the room silently. She carried a small device, shaped like a thin black needle, glowing faintly with blue light. "It's time," she said softly. "The next step." Alex leaned back, breathing slow. "What's that?" She held it up. "A neural key. It unlocks the mind. Memories, instincts, all become ours. No pain, if you don't fight it." Alex's smile was thin, almost amused. "I'm always gonna fight it." The huntress' smile was softer now, almost regretful. "That's why I like you." She stepped closer, and Alex moved. Fast. His wrists snapped apart, the worn cuff snapping clean in half. Before the huntress could react, Alex was up, slamming his shoulder into her chest, driving her back into the wall. The neural key fell from her fingers, clattering to the floor. Her claws flashed, but Alex caught her wrist, twisting it hard, using her momentum against her. Her back hit the wall, and for the first time, her eyes widened, not in fear, but in shock. No prey had ever turned the tables inside her own ship. "You study prey," Alex growled, his face inches from hers. "But you don't understand hunters." Her free hand lashed out, but Alex was faster. He grabbed the neural key from the floor, spinning it in his fingers, jamming it into the control panel beside them. Sparks flew as the device overloaded the system, lights flickering wildly. "You think I'm your prey?" Alex said, voice low. "Wrong." The lights died. Emergency red flooded the room. Alex's voice was the only sound. "You're mine." The ship groaned, systems struggling as Alex's sabotage spread through the core. Doors unlocked. Security fields dropped. Alex bolted from the room, running through the alien halls, his mind already mapping exits, weapon storage, escape routes. The huntress stood alone in the darkened room, breathing hard, hand pressed to the wall where Alex had pinned her. For the first time in her life, the Valkyrie huntress wasn't sure who was hunting who. And that made her smile. Because the best prey didn't just run. They fought back. And Alex Kane was the best she'd ever seen. Final fight and twisted respect. The Valkyrie ship trembled, red emergency lights flashing across the smooth black walls. The once silent vessel now echoed with blaring alarms and the sharp hiss of leaking gas from burst pipes. Sparks rained down from exposed panels, lighting the corridor in short bursts of flickering white. Alex Kane ran through the chaos, barefoot now, his boots left behind in the struggle. His muscles burned with exhaustion, but his mind stayed sharp, a soldier's mind, always hunting for the next advantage. Every breath felt like fire in his chest, every cut and bruise adding to the pain map his brain silently tracked. But pain didn't matter. He wasn't running to escape. He was running to end this. The Valkyrie huntress followed, her bare feet silent on the trembling floor. Her long claws scraped against the walls, leaving deep grooves as she moved. Her smooth black skin glistened with sweat and rainwater, her red eyes locked forward, not just with hunger now, but something sharper. Fascination. This human had broken free inside her own ship. He had turned her traps into weapons. He had looked her in the eyes and called her the prey. No species had ever done that. Not once in all her hunts. And she loved it. Alex burst into a wide chamber, the ship's central bay, where alien weapons hung from smooth racks and sleek fighter drones lined the walls, dormant. The ceiling curved high above him, lit by faint blue light, the only soft glow left on the ship. He scanned the room quickly. Cover points, exit hatches, anything useful. His mind was a machine, processing every detail, building strategies within seconds. The Valkyrie were fast, but Alex had one advantage they could never copy: creativity under pressure. The Huntress stepped into the chamber behind him, her shadow stretching long across the floor. Her breathing was steady, her claws flexing and curling at her sides. She didn't rush forward, didn't attack immediately. This wasn't a chase anymore. This was a duel. "Why do you fight so hard?" she asked, her voice smooth and curious, echoing softly through the chamber. "You know you can't escape this ship. You know we could make you stronger, faster, more than you are." Alex didn't answer. His hands were busy, finding a fallen piece of broken drone plating, bending it into a rough, sharp-edged blade. Crude, but effective. The Huntress stepped closer, her head tilting slightly. "We could share this hunt, human. You and I. We could become something new. Stronger than Valkyrie. Stronger than human." Alex's fingers curled tighter around the metal shard. "You don't get it, do you?" She paused, waiting. He took a step forward, his bare feet silent on the cold floor. "It's not about strength. It's not about genes. It's about who you are when everything's falling apart, when you're bleeding, broken, and still standing." The Huntress's smile was slow, fanged. "That's why I want you." She lunged. They collided with the force of two storms meeting in open sky, her claws slashing, his jagged metal blade flashing in the dim light. Sparks flew with every clash, her armor tearing, his skin slicing open. Blood, both red and dark blue, mixed on the floor beneath their feet.